oneBURGH Tonight is a comedy show. Laughs, chuckles, Pittsburgh fun. Remember fun? Remember?
On last week's episode of CSY Investigations.
What do we have here, Detective Jablonski?
32-year-old Caucasian male. Reached out to the family and friends, but they're surprised.
Surprised? I guess that's why we pulled him from the Ohio River.
On this week's episode of CSY.
Who's our unfortunate soul here, Detective Jablonski?
66-year-old Caucasian male. Pulled from the river about an hour ago. Apparently he's the heir to that old horse farm off Saxonburg Road.
Horse?
Horse.
Guess that's why they pulled him from the Monongahela River.
On this week's episode of CSY.
Who's this prune pierogi, Detective Jablonski?
He's a 32-year-old male Caucasian. His husband's known for violence.
Husband? I guess that's why they pulled him from the Allegheny River.
Oh my God!
Don't miss a new episode of CSY Pittsburgh every Saturday night on 22 The Point at 8, followed by an encore presentation of the Do You Have Prostate Cancer infomercial.
From Pittsburgh, it's oneBURGH Tonight. Tonight's guest, Paul Zeise. Featuring Brian McBride, Jordan Allen, Sean Donaldson, Lonzel Petrell, Steven Sims, Leandra Bolello, Reverend Dasher Rocket, and a prepared dish by Private Chef Frank. And now, from the Shenderovich and Fishman Studios, it's oneBURGH Tonight.
Let's all go down.
And here's your host, Brian Carothers.
Yes! Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. Welcome to oneBURGH Tonight. I'm your host, Brian Carothers, and we have a very special announcement. We are on the internet. Yes. Welcome to our 5th edition of oneBURGH Tonight. Our guest tonight is Paul Zeise. Tons of fun happening throughout. Chef Frank is here. But first, Pittsburgh rivers deserve some attention on oneBURGH Tonight. The 3 rivers, yes, that give our city an identity. The Ohio, the Allegheny, and the Did I say it right? I'm being told I said it right. Thank you. Now, they meet downtown at the Point, one of the most photographed places in America. The lifeblood of our city. Native Americans explored them. We gave steel to the world on them. And amazingly, some dude delivered pizza in them.
Oh, God, he's driven. He is dancing.
Whoa, wow, that moment is actually incredible. The legs on that dude, amazing. That moment should not be overlooked as one of the greatest physical achievements ever in the history of Pittsburgh. Now, what makes the river so majestic and amazing, and what would make me never eat one of those pizzas or at least burn the clothes that I was wearing, is the amount of things we dump in the river on a daily basis. For most of Pittsburgh's history, the rivers have basically been dumpsters, and they actually still are today. During the steel era, factories dumped slag and coal, chemicals, industrial runoff. By the early 1900s, the water was so polluted in Pittsburgh that fish largely disappeared from parts of the rivers. There are historical reports describing the water as black, oily, and sometimes glowing with industrial discharge. Yummy, says Iron City Brewing. The good news is the rivers today are dramatically cleaner than the Steel Era, but that's not a football sprite celebration. Yes, your wife is cleaner than when she went to IUP, but she's still nasty as hell. Scientists test the three rivers regularly, and the results are mixed. When they're monitored, they found that it depends on location and weather. In recent testing, E. coli bacteria, the main indicator of whether you can swim, sites on the Ohio River met the recreational safety standards about 67% of the time. The Allegheny, 43% of the time. And the Monongahela, 33% of the time it was safe to swim in it. Damn, 33% of the time. That's less dangerous than actually being in Monongahela. You know why? Because there's sewage in our water. Sewage. The pulp to the river's orange juice. Every year, roughly 9 billion gallons of untreated sewage overflows from Elkasan and goes directly into Pittsburgh's rivers. No wonder Frankie the fish looks like a crackhead. He's so stressed out. And what is Frankie, by the way? A mutant fish person that can breathe our air and live amongst us? Who came up with that? It'd be like the city dump came up with a mascot that was a human-sized rat wearing a suit that looks high on fentanyl and warns you to recycle. Now, it only takes 1/10 of an inch of rain to overflow Pittsburgh's waterways. Elkasan has begun a $2 billion, 11-year project to add tunnels below all three rivers to address the overflow problems. Sort of. The new $2 billion system will still allow 3 billion gallons of untreated sewage into the rivers and streams every year. Now, you wonder, why are we booing Tomlin or the Pirates for the garbage on the field? Right outside the stadiums, literal garbage is floating by and we're drinking it. Now, what can normal yinzers do? Be mindful of what goes down your drain. People in Western PA who fish and boat will tell you to start thinking about forever chemicals and how you dispose of them. A recent water quality report said that PFAs, or forever chemicals, are in nearly 75% of samples taken from Pittsburgh rivers. PFA chemicals are used in things like waterproofing clothing, stain-resistant fabrics, industrial coatings on pots and pans. They're called forever because they barely break down in nature, which means once they enter your waterways, they'll be there forever. Scientists have linked exposure and health risks to cancer and immune system damage, which means the rivers contain substances that will literally kill us and outlive us. The probability of our grandkids dying from forever chemicals is forever. Okay, that seems like enough issues, enough going to church. We want to laugh on the show. We'll be better, Brian. We'll help the rivers.
Tires and trash as far as the eye can see, but what you're looking at isn't a landfill. No, it's right in the middle of the city, and it turns out there are hundreds of these illegal dump sites.
The marking on these big bins is clear: recycling only, no trash. But illegal dumping happening right next to these big bins is about to ruin things for everybody.
Trash dumping on Pittsburgh's north side.
One man reached out to KDKA to say it's an ongoing problem.
Okay, yeah, not so fast. Illegal dumping is one of the biggest ways that trash ends up in Pittsburgh's rivers. Over the past 2 decades, Allegheny Cleanways has documented hundreds of illegal dump sites across Allegheny County and removed more than 5 million pounds of garbage from hillsides, ravines, and vacant lots. Great comfy things like mattresses and couches, refrigerators, thousands of tires, debris, and household junk. Our hills make the problem worse. When people dump trash on hillsides, rain and gravity do the rest, washing debris into storm drains, streams, and eventually the 3 rivers. In other words, much of what ends up floating past downtown doesn't start in the water, it starts in the woods above it. Now, besides all that, and that's a lot, we have something that you might be interested in. Johnny, a new car!
This right here, that's the tens of thousands of pounds of wreckage that used to be cars that they've pulled out of our rivers, all in an effort to try to clean up the waters.
In the summer of 2024, river cleanup crews estimate that there may be around 100+ cars sitting at the bottom of Pittsburgh rivers, which means somewhere at the bottom of the Allegheny River, there's probably a Buick that's like, hey, free cars, bring your towels, we're the greatest city ever, who needs a free one? And now there's another strange contributor. Winter road salt. Pennsylvania uses hundreds of thousands of tons of salt every winter to keep roads safe. But when snow melts, like it does now, salt runs into storm drains and eventually into the rivers, which means in the spring, right now, during the NFL draft, our rivers contain stormwater, trash, chemicals, sewage, road salt, and apparently a fleet of abandoned cars. Pizza, anyone? Stopping pollution in Pittsburgh's rivers will take both infrastructure fixes and community action, and several groups are already working on it. Elkasan, of course, is trying. And at the same time, organizations like Allegheny Clean Waste are attacking the problem, while river advocate groups like Three Rivers Waterkeeper monitor pollution and hope to make regulation change. Local governments and volunteers are also organizing NFL draft-inspired Red Up cleanups and riverfront restoration projects to remove litter and restore habitat. Together, these efforts aim to stop trash and pollution before they reach the river, protecting the rivers that build Pittsburgh and keeping them cleaner for the people and wildlife that depend on them. And that's a pretty good thing whether there was a draft or not. Look, the city exists because of them. They power the steel industry. We boat on them. We swim in them. There's 20 million amateur fake photographers that photograph them all the time. And yet, throughout our history and today, we've treated them like dumpsters with bridges over them. Forget the draft coming to town. Let's focus on what's drifting through our waters. It's gross. And someday, we won't all gasp when we see local heroes like him. As Pittsburgh's #1 late-night comedy show and the city's largest social media community, we get a lot of attention, some of it good, but some of it threatening. When you become a powerhouse like oneBURGH, you become a target. Earlier today, we received a message from someone claiming to be a villain. After reviewing the situation, we decided the safest course of action was to give him airtime out of sheer fear. Please welcome Bane. Hi, Bane. Oh. Hi, Bane.
Good evening, Pittsburgh. Your city is now under my control. If my demands are not met, terrible things will happen.
Oh, geez. Well, we're taking it serious, Bane. What are some of the serious things that could happen?
Well, during your next snowstorm, I will make it impossible for the city to plow your streets, forcing residents to place articles of furniture in the road to reserve their parking spaces. Chaos will follow.
Bane, that's already happening. I'm sorry, that's already happening.
Well, then I will cause every driver entering the Fort Pitt Tunnel to slow down. For absolutely no reason, creating massive backups across the city.
Yeah, that's like the Princess Diana thing, Bane. That already happens too. Everybody slows down in front of the tunnels.
I will sabotage the Mon Incline, causing it to break down repeatedly with no explanation.
Okay, Bane, I'm sorry, man. That happens already as well.
I will cause Kurt Angle to break his freaking neck at the Olympics.
Okay, all right, that's a pretty serious threat. That happened already, Bane. But, yeah, I mean, it's scary.
I will cut the dreadlocks off of Andrew McCutcheon's head, and he will never bat 300 again.
He doesn't even play for the Pirates anymore, Bane. Sorry to tell you that.
I will fill every pothole in the city with a cone or patch that doesn't hold, causing drivers to hit them and damage their car.
Okay, I mean, that is a scary threat, Bane, but I do think that happens a lot already. You could add on to that. It would be like a extra Bane or extra scary, I guess.
I will place a spell over Paul Skeen's agent, ensuring he never signs a long-term contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It will ensure a Pittsburgh Pirates rebuild that lasts for decades.
Okay, Ben, I've read or heard on the Fan that that's actually happening, but is there anything else, Bane? Because none of these really sound like threats.
Oh, your city is really messed up.
It is. It is almost post-Bane.
Then I will do something truly evil.
Okay, brace for it. What is it, Bane?
I will move the Arby's on McKnight Road.
No, okay, wait a second. Now you've gone too far, Bane. No, Bane, don't mess with that Arby's. Bane, everybody. Thank you, Bane.
Hey Pittsburgh, Skip Jabrowski with this week's Tech Corner on printers. The main thing to know about printers is that printers are going to give you trouble. Ever since the invention of printers, people have been having trouble with printers. If it's not a paper jam, it's out of paper or ink or toner or maybe a fuser or a print head, or maybe it's that toner waste container is full, or maybe you just didn't pay your monthly HP Smart bill. Don't even get me started on that. $20 a month just to use my own printer? Suggestion number 1. Just fix it. The most popular fix for a printer problem is to turn it off and turn it back on. If you were born any time before the Biden administration, this might sound familiar. This is the process of turning off your printer, and once it's turned off, you turn it back on. But how do I turn off my printer, you're probably asking? For any printer built after 1992, you'll just press and hold that power button until it turns off. Devices before that vintage will have a more obvious power switch. To turn the printer back on, you give that same power button a single press. Once it comes back on, your print may just spit right out. Suggestion 2, just unjam it. Paper jams highlight one of the biggest problems with people having printers in their own homes. A printer is like a motorcycle. If you want to own one, you also have to be a mechanic. No matter the size of the printer, a paper jam means you're going to have to take the whole thing apart, try to find a little piece of paper jammed in there somewhere, and then put it all back together again. It's like having to do a full engine breakdown just to replace a wiper blade, right? No matter how simple those diagrams and the instructions make it sound, tab 6 and tray 3 and lever C are not going to be easy for you to find. As you may as well just set up a tab with the Geek Squad because they just became your biggest fan. Maybe them HP Smart people do Haskell's. Yeah, right. Suggestion 3, just get rid of it. This may not be a very popular opinion, but I'm a big fan of going paperless. If you're not familiar with that term, what it means is no paper. Just leave it on the screen. Our lives are full of so much paper. We should be trying to get rid of it, not making more. Everything you're trying to print is right there on the screen for you to look at. You can save yourself the trouble of printing it just by reading it. Oh, what's that? You want to print it out so you can read it in the other room? Well, that's what your phone is for. You're taking that with you, aren't you? Oh, but that screen is so small. Then zoom in. Heck, if your eyes are that bad, have the phone read it to you. And there we are once again with a reminder to just embrace technology. Then we can finally stop being so mad at printers. PC load letter. Now that's it for me. Keep it techie, Pittsburgh.
Injured? Why pay another firm 40%? Our fee is only $25.
So what's the difference between a 25 and a 40% fee?
Say this is your settlement of $100,000. Another firm would charge you 40%. That's almost half your settlement. Our fee is only 25%. So you'd get this much more.
Call us at 888-98-TWINS. We've got your back, not your wallet. Вам нужен большой кошелек.
I wonder how much my roof would cost. TVRoofer.com? Wow, that's it, not bad.
TVRoofer.com. 0% financing for 24 months? Sign me up.
Wow, getting a roofing estimate has never been so easy.
Has your roof been on your mind lately? Take advantage of EAS Roofing's easy-to-use roofing calculator.
Power loss? Don't let this happen. Make this happen with a home standby Honeywell generator by Generac from Air Pro Heating and Cooling. Protect your home. Call someone you know. Call Air Pro Heating and Cooling about Honeywell home generators.
Welcome back to That's a Lot. I'm your host, Brian Carothers with oneBURGH. My guest, as always, is Taylor Fournier from Jeep of Pittsburgh. Taylor, did you know that you spend 3 months of your life just brushing your teeth?
That's not enough.
No, that's more than enough. That's a lot. 3 months of your life brushing your... What's your average time on your teeth?
I think statistics show.
No, you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Happy birthday twice.
That's the biggest lie.
No.
That's the biggest lie ever told on this lot. You do not sing Happy Birthday twice. That's a lot.
Thanks. Welcome back to That's a Lot. Or the ABCs.
Do you feel like that's a lot? Wait, now it's changed to the ABC, so it was in stone.
It's either or.
On God and my children.
As a child.
It's Happy Birthday. Now you said or the ABCs. So
I think it's Happy Birthday twice or the ABCs. And that's enough. On That's a Lot.
Taylor, thank you for joining us on That's a Lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know what I like? Movies and TV shows filmed in Pittsburgh. It's so cool to see our town.
Just seeing our town, the buildings, the bridges. Wow. I mean, Jack Reacher?
Dark Knight Rises.
The Pit?
If you love shows filmed in Pittsburgh, you're going to love this new one. From the creators of Mayor of Kingstown comes Mayor of Queenstown, where the largest crime family in Pittsburgh is run entirely by drag queens.
Well, wait, what?
Crime at night, fabulous all the time. No twink is safe. Filmed exclusively in Pittsburgh, in your neighborhood.
I don't know about this.
And the crime family headquarters is the Carnegie Library.
Drag queens? In a library?
Executive producers Bruce Springsteen and Minnesota Congressperson Ilhan Omar, starring RuPaul as Mr. Rogers. Jimmy Kimmel presents Mayor of Queenstown. The Strip District is gone. The Strut District is now. Music by the Clarks. Welcome back to oneBURGH Tonight. I'm your host, Brian Carothers, here at the Shenderovich and Fishman Studios. Thanks for joining us, of course. The great one, Ryan McBride, with us as always. And tonight's guest, we're so excited, Paul Zeise. Paul, welcome to oneBURGH.
Thank you for having me.
You made it.
I finally made it to the big time, right?
People said Paul Zeise will never come on oneBURGH.
I finally made it to the big time.
You
That's
did
what I
it.
look at, right?
You did it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is like the final. This is like the final outlet that you haven't done: radio, television, newspaper,
yeah,
and now the wide world web. Is that the future for your brand?
I do like a podcast for the Post-Gazette, so it's kind of this wide world, isn't it? This is what we're talking about here,
Of
I'm
course.
assuming. So yes, that's the future of everything, isn't it?
Of course.
I mean, TV stations, TV are, they're dying because people watch
oneBURGH Tonight.
They watch oneBURGH on streaming, and
That's right.
radio stations are trying to figure out how to get everything on streaming. And,
Right.
Even the Post-Gazette, we've put a whole lot more of our resources into streaming than the newspaper.
I think we had on oneBURGH today the Kevorkian exit of the Post-Gazette is close. And are you going to stick it out until the last day?
Well, I mean, it's close, but I think if you listen to the people within the building that are the power brokers, it sounds like there's a buyer lined up who is going to buy the Post-Gazette properties and at the very least buy the platforms and buy the video, the YouTube channels and all the other stuff and the trademarks and all that stuff. It'll be a new company, but it'll still be the Post-Gazette, and all of us will, or at least some of us will survive from the old company to the new company.
What's the name, Paul? Do you have a name you can share with us? We can put it out there.
The Post-Gazette.
No, the buyer.
No,
I followed along with the story.
There's actually like three different groups that are trying to buy it. One, one allegedly is a, what's their name? But they bought the Chicago Tribune and the Denver Post and the Baltimore paper.
So they're in the newspaper game.
They're like a hedge fund of some sort or something, Then there's another company that's out of Chicago. I forget what their name is. So there's like three different that they're working through, but it sounds like May 3rd will be the end of the block-owned Post-Gazette, and May 4th will start whatever the new owned Post-Gazette is. So I don't think you should write our obituary just yet.
Well, I mean, just the brand itself is so valuable.
Yes.
So to see it go away. So you were part of a letter that went to, did it go to the newspaper guild? Did it go to the Block family? Where you were like, this whole thing is whack. We didn't want to make this get so crazy. Is that kind of paraphrasing
I think part of the thing is, there was a small group of people that run the union.
Yeah.
And, again, I get it. I understand that there's needs for unions and all that other stuff. But when you become just an entity that decides that you're going to fight tooth and nail against everything that management says, right? In a business that is, let's face it, the Titanic. Like, what exactly leverage do you have in the newspaper business? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when the majority of the people in your union are saying going on strike is idiotic.
Right.
Right?
But you were silenced in it when it started, and it started to get wild. The members are silenced. This was just the loud minority.
It was a loud minority who went on strike. But again, is it a strike when you've got, say, 100 members of your union and 30 of them are on strike and 70 of them are working?
No, not when you destroy the whole business.
And the best
model.
part about it is, the Teamsters, who were the ones that actually, this strike sort of began because the Teamsters were upset about their health insurance being changed or whatever, so they decide they're going to, go on strike or whatever. Well, as it got ridiculous, the Teamsters who were all in and everything else, and they're the ones that were the genesis of this and who we were supposed to go fight for, they made a backdoor deal with the company to get their severance and everything else, and they stepped out of the strike, and they were done. It was like, okay, guess what? We got what we needed. Bye. Wow. So to me, like, the whole thing was dumb. And here's the other thing. Every time they have one of these little victory laps, we won in court. Yes, you won in court. We, quote unquote, won in court with the National Labor Relations Board, whatever. Guess what? None of that had anything to do with you guys going around town making a spectacle of yourself and picketing at people's houses and creating.
But none of that mattered either, though, right? I mean, the blocks were very clear. You're probably going to put us out of business for everything you're forcing us to do. So
again,
here we are.
Yes, but again, the reality is every victory that the guild, we as a guild or whatever, had, right? Every single victory was achieved in court. Had nothing to do with going on strike. Had nothing to do with running around town acting like idiots, which is what they did.
Right. This wasn't like Andrew Carnegie bombing people from the river. This was
that was my thing when I was on these conference calls. I said, this isn't the 1980s. This isn't, we're not coal miners here, or teachers with some sort of essential product. We are in a business that is the Titanic. Okay, it's dying. So if we're going to adapt, we need to adapt, number one. And number two, going on strike is just going to basically be the death blow to us. Yeah. Like, let's try and work with management, see if we can't come to some sort of an agreement that makes sense for everybody. And let's go there. And in court, we'll win whatever we need to win.
But it is a shock. That letter that went out that was signed by how many Post-Gazette writers and editors, it was like, well, where was this like 4 years ago when this happened, right?
What?
Or was enough is enough? That letter where you said, we'll work with new management. We would have worked with Block. This is just a mess.
But again, there's a small group of people that run the union.
Sure.
And that whole letter was, tell you what, why don't you open up the union, the president and the vice president of the guild, why don't you open up those positions so that all of us can vote, and maybe we can get a couple of people in there who aren't zealots, who aren't just, out here, acting like, this is, again, like they're on some sort of crusade.
Yeah.
As opposed to, listen, we want to work with management because we want the place to continue to be. I mean, I've been there 28 years.
Yeah, but them being down $350 million, like, it's pretty fair to say everyone kind of sucks at this.
Again, there's so many different things. Again, I've been there 28 years. Yeah. If I wanted to write a book about just how bad all of this has been, I could. But my point is, like, do you want to have a job or not?
That's
and if you want to have a job, like, again, well, we want this, and this. Well, that's great. Go to another industry.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If you look around the country, no newspapers are doing that. Because newspapers are dying, and the only way they survive. And look, I'll say this. I'll say this as a newspaper guy at heart.
Okay.
I love newspapers. I'd be I'd be a newspaper guy, ink stained wrench, my entire life if I could, if it was if I was 30 years younger or whatever, you know what I mean? And I came along in the 60s and 70s and 80s when newspapers were still what they were. But the bottom line is, in the early 90s, okay, when it was clear that the internet was starting to expand and it was becoming a thing, most newspapers were run by dinosaurs who really believed the nobility of journalism. We were going to overcome all of this, and that this internet thing was just a fad, and that, you know what, they couldn't see in the future that maybe 20 years from now, nobody's going to be buying a newspaper because they can read everything on their computer. Like, this is what happened at every newspaper, just about every newspaper in the country.
But what about paywalls? They'll pay it.
Right. But the bottom line is they would have.
They would have.
If we'd have started from day one and said, listen, this is your subscription. You're still going to get the paper delivered, but you're also going to be able to be behind the paywall. Now, if you don't want the paper, whatever, you can get the news beyond the paywall, but you're going to have to be a subscriber to do that. But they didn't want to do that. And then 5, 6, 7 years after doing it for free, they said, oh, wait a minute, this is killing us. Yeah, it's killing you. Maybe, just maybe, you should have started charging from day one, because the bottom line is, if you look at things like Amazon, if you look at things like all of these music apps, if you look, there's a million different examples of the fact that people will pay a couple of dollars a month for whatever service you want to online. So
within reason.
Right. If the newspapers, you know, even if the newspapers charge like $4 a month or $3 or $4 a month from the start, you know, say, you know, back then when I started, I think our circulation on Sundays was about 480,000 people. Now, if you get 480,000 people to pay $3 a month for what you're doing, you're in pretty good shape. So, but my point is, again, that would require the people to run newspapers, okay, to be business people as well, which they're not. They're mostly artsy-fartsy types who they don't think like that, you know?
Do you think as the future of newspapers, as they continue to close, like feature writing is going to start becoming less and less and more rare?
Well, I mean, I think part of the problem with feature writing is the younger generations don't read.
Yeah,
like, it's great that you can write a 4,000-word story, but guess what? What is it? I don't even know what it is. Gen Y and, you know, whatever these younger people, they don't read past 100 words.
I can tell you, man, when people send me, as the editor-in-chief of oneBURGH, when people send me 500-word articles, I say cut it in half.
Yeah.
No one stays that long.
No one's staying that long.
My bride can't even read.
I'm just saying, every study shows that.
Yeah.
Every study shows that. And, like, you know, that's the point. Like,
and that study was spoken to you. It wasn't even read.
And we have, you know, at the newspapers, we started doing like podcasts and all that other stuff, right? At first, you know, they wanted them to be like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. It's like, listen, man, nobody's paying attention after 10. I do mine, you know, they wanted me to do like an hour, and I'm like, I'll do about 25 minutes, but nobody's paying attention after about 7 minutes. Yeah. You lose them. So you better get them within the first 5 to 10 minutes. That's sort of the wave of the future. So to answer your question, it's not about feature writing going away. I mean, I think there will always be good features, but the reality is the audience for those things gets smaller and smaller and smaller as you know, your audience gets older. The older people start to die off, unfortunately. Guess what? Your audience is people that have grown up with a phone in their hand.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, we used to laugh and make fun of the USA Today. You know, it was a Mick paper. You know, like McDonald's. We used to call the USA Today a Mick paper.
The little thing in the bottom.
The little articles. You know, I mean, guess what? That's what people want now. Yeah. That's what they were way ahead of their time back then.
They were.
You know what I mean? And of course, they couldn't make it work because they struggled with a national distribution. But the bottom line was they were way ahead of their time in terms of what people actually want from newspapers.
All right, let me ask you, I know we're wrapping up here, Paul. What's to become of Paul Zeise? I've been thinking about you a lot in the last 2 days, right? You've done radio, you've done television, newspaper. We're hoping that gets saved. But you're an opinionated person. I don't agree with everything you say. I disagree with 50% of what you have to say, but I still respect you, and we can still sit here together and talk as friends. But where does the opinionated brand go in the future? Have you lost every source that you have because they're worried about your opinion? Or do you live in fear of just the public relations directors of the places that you have to see? Where do we go with you?
No, I mean, I'm gonna start getting into podcasting on my own. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that probably needs to do things on my own. That's the bottom line. So, you know what I mean? And I look at, I think as television stations, they've lost revenue, they've lost ratings. Nobody watches the news anymore. Nobody, you know what I mean? I was talking to Bob Pompiani, for instance. 15, 20, 25 years ago, the 11 o'clock news would do like a 21 share or 22 share, something like that. Right? Now they are celebrating if they get a 1.5 or a 2.
But look, Pompiani has to stay safe, though, right? But what I'm saying is, where does Paul go? Because if Pompiani went off script and said Don Kelly is a worthless manager and he's too young to have it, he'll never get access to the Pirates again. If you say it, you say it.
But my point is,
where do we go?
Yeah, my point is, as television stations have become less relevant, these television directors have become far more sensitive and far more a guy like me they don't want. It's like they want everything nice and clean and clear, and they're cowardly that way, because the bottom line is that the cleansed version of things, nobody wants that. But guess what? That's what they want to put on TV.
I take it back. I agree with you now. 70% of what you said. It was 50. It just went up.
My point is that's what they think people want, but really what people want is cutting edge a little bit, and look, people that have listened to my shows, read my stories, all and again, I'm getting ready to start a podcast. Actually, it's going to be called Zeise Uncensored. Wow. Now,
Jesus Christ.
It's either going to end my career or it's going to be the most successful thing I've ever done. Whatever. But people have always said to me, you know what? I don't agree with you, but all the time. But the thing I appreciate the most about you is you're honest and you're true. And you know what? I'm always going to be honest and true. If people don't like that, you know what? There's a lot of places you can go and find people to blow smoke up your, you know what? But I'm not going to do that.
How can anyone be upset with Earth, Wind, and Fire in the background?
That's right. I'm going to have a little Earth, Wind, and Fire in my podcast.
Wait, I just went up to 75%.
So listen, and here's the thing about when I say uncensored, it doesn't mean, I got to be like swearing all the time.
No, you'll be clothed.
But my point, yes.
Okay, he will wear pants, everybody.
My point is, it's going to be a podcast mostly for, men. I think we have a society where, we've tried to emasculate males and make us feel guilty for just being males. We like certain things. So to me, I'll talk about, I'll talk about music, I'll talk about cigars, I'll talk about bourbon and drinking, I'll talk about men's mental health, physical health, I'll talk about the news. If there's things going on in the news, I'll talk about whatever. My point is, those are the kind of things that I've always wanted to do. Sports, to me, I've done it for 30 years. It's boring.
It's boring,
you know
man.
What I'm saying?
Thank you for saying
there's
that.
a ton of things. I'll talk about golf. I'll talk about, relationships.
Right.
Obviously, I have lots of experience in relationships because I've been divorced twice. But my point is, at the end of the day.
I know who your first two guests are going to be on the podcast.
Exactly. That's my point. My point is, there's a lot of stuff that I can get into. And guess what? I can do it on my own terms without some stuffy news director who's saying, "Oh, that might be a little too far." Which I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be me for the rest of my life and my rest of my career. Now, if people don't like that, maybe my career will be over. I don't know, but I'm going out.
Right?
I'm going down.
Continue.
Listen, I'm going out. I'm going out on my own terms. I'm going down. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to down in flames, baby.
Paul Zeise, thank you for the time tonight.
Of course.
Where do we go? What website do we go to, or where do we find you online?
The Post-Gazette website. If you go on my Twitter page, that's where my daily podcast is every day at 5 o'clock.
I know.
I mean? But
that's where people send me screenshots and go, "Can you believe this?"
Yes, exactly. That's
Paul,
probably
thank you.
right. Yes.
Appreciate you, my man.
Facebook,
and let's keep the Post-Gazette in business.
Absolutely.
We'll be back with more oneBURGH tonight from the Shenderovich and Fishman studios after these words.
In our ads, you won't see a disclaimer in tiny print at the bottom of your screen because we don't need one.
Our message is simple. Our success rate is 99.7%. And when we win for you, our fee is only 25%. And that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
If you've been injured, call us. At Shenderovich and Fishman.
We really do have your back, not your wallet.
I wonder how much my roof would cost. TVRoofer.com? Wow, that's it, not bad.
TVRoofer.com. 0% financing for
getting a roofing estimate has never been so easy.
Has your roof been on your mind lately? Take advantage of EAS Roofing's easy-to-use roofing calculator.
Power loss? Don't let this happen. Make this happen with a home standby Honeywell generator by Generac from AirPro Heating and Cooling. Protect your home. Call someone you know. Call AirPro Heating and Cooling about Honeywell home generators.
Welcome back to That's a Lot. I'm your host, Brian Carothers, broadcasting live from West Liberty Avenue here in Pittsburgh. Our guest, Taylor Fournier from Jeep of Pittsburgh. Good day, Taylor.
Good afternoon, Brian. Welcome back to That's a Lot.
Hey, I was thinking about you.
Go
Did you
ahead.
know that every year you produce enough spit to fill 2 standard bathtubs?
Now wait just a minute. Is that true, or this wouldn't be That's a Lot?
That's true. You yourself,
Wow.
whether you're chewing gum or you have mints, you
Now, what if I
spit,
told you this,
man.
Brian? We are the one and only true Pittsburgh buy or lease center for all of your Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge needs, with over 50 Grand Cherokees in stock, with over 50 Compasses in stock. I see 8 Wranglers coming off the truck right now. What do you think about that?
I think 5 million earthquakes happen every year.
And that's
a lot.
A lot.
Welcome back to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Rubber Rocket, and I just realized something. I'm on television, so I'm actually kind of famous. So I can actually go to Aaron Rodgers and say things like, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers, what are you doing? I'm going to do a drawing of you. You want to hang out? Maybe do something later on after you're done playing football?" I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, I don't even know if I think he lives around here. I don't really even know for sure if he does. He probably does live around here, at least for now. But yeah, we could do this drawing and be like, I'll do a drawing for him. He'll be impressed by it. He'll be like, "Oh, that's really cool." And I'll be like, "Well, Aaron Rodgers, maybe you want to go get some lunch or something?" He's like, "I'm really busy today." And I'm like, "Well, how about on Wednesday?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, I can do it on Wednesday." And I'll be like, "Cool, Aaron Rodgers, I'll meet you Wednesday, like at 10. He's like, "You know what? I don't like to get up before like 6. I don't like to get up before like 11:30. And I'll be like, "You know what, Aaron Rodgers, I get it. Let's get up. Let's meet at noon and we'll go." And then this is all the stuff we're going to do on that day. And this is like, I'm drawing his thing and I'm just going to tell him this is what we're going to do today. So on the day that we hang out, because you're done with the Steelers, everybody knows you're done. The football season's over. You got like 3 months off. What are you going to do with yourself? Normally all you do is play football, and now you don't have anything to do because you're retired or something. So, since you're there, why don't you just, I'm the Reverend Dash Rocket, and if you're new to the city, I would love to show you around. So, give me a call or whatever. Come down to the television studio that I happen to be occupying at times. And it's me. That's me. That's what I'm saying right there. That's me. So yeah, so I'm saying like Aaron Rodgers, and you know what? And this is the thing, you're off for 3 months because football's over, right? You don't have anything to do. I don't even know if you're going back to football, but if you do, you're off for 3 months. So that's what I'm thinking. We take a bunch of mushrooms. You're experienced with that, but we'll take a bunch of those mushrooms or maybe some ayahuasca, whatever you got going on or laying around the house. You know what I mean? And we'll go and we're going to take them, and then maybe we'll take some cactuses and we'll do something like that. I don't know, whatever you're into. But then it's going to go in our stomach, and this is where it's going in our stomach. It kind of looks like you're pooping it, but you're not because it's going in your stomach. So, and then you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to Frick Park. And we're going to chase pigeons. We're going to just walk around, chase them. You can maybe throw a football at them. I don't know what you want to do in your spare time, but we're going to go to Frick Park. We're going to chase pigeons. And then after Frick Park, we're going to walk across one of those bridges, maybe the Roberto Clemente Bridge. We'll walk across the bridge. Maybe we'll see the mook tag. We'll be like, "Hey, mook tag, what's up?" And then after that, we're going to go to the apiary, where there's more birds. So there's more birds at the apiary, and these are like national birds. There's like birds from like the zoo, and there's like an eagle, and there's a big freaking vulture and things like that. And these are the big birds that we're going to see. We're going to see those big birds, and it's going to be amazing. Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have the best time in the Pittsburgh ever. And then eventually we're going to see penguins too. There's penguins there, Aaron Rodgers. It's like Antarctica in Pittsburgh, but it's not. So then we're going to hang out birds all day long. And then after we see the birds, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go get a Permane Brothers sandwich. I don't like coleslaw on my sandwiches, but everyone seems to like it, so that's what we're going to get. We're going to get one of those sandwiches, and you're going to eat it. You're going to eat it right in front of me, Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to have the best time ever. It's going to be the best day ever. I'm telling you, Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have so much fun with me. Afterwards, we're going to go to Piper's. get a beer. We're going to get an Irish beer at Piper's, all high on mushrooms. After eating a sandwich and seeing birds all day, Aaron Rodgers, that's what we're going to do. It's going to be the best day ever, and you know it. I will see you later. Give me a call whenever you...
Welcome back to oneBURGH Tonight. I'm your host, Brian Carothers, inside the Shenderovich and Fishman studios, and he's back, the great one, Private Chef Frank.
We're back.
CPC.
CPC.
Certified Public. No, wait.
Personal
chef. Yeah. Where am I going with this? Too many letters.
Too many letters.
Frank comes in every Saturday night with one of his famous dishes, delicious dishes that people go absolutely wild for.
Yes, they do.
But while people are watching this at home, because we film this on a Tuesday, little behind the scenes, you're doing gigs every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but there's room for more, right?
Oh, there's always room for more.
How does it work?
So during the week, Monday through Thursday, I offer couples dinners. So during the week, I'll do 2 people for dinner, 4 people, 6 people. Just depends totally on what size your party is. But my weekends are reserved for larger dinner parties.
Okay.
We're talking sometimes 10, sometimes 20, sometimes 150. Just depends.
And do you go into these monster houses like this is a mansion idea, right?
Oh yes. We have multiple ovens, 2 kitchens sometimes. It's the homes I'm in. I get home envy.
Yeah.
Kitchen envy.
What would you say is the biggest house that you've been in? And by the way, you also will prepare for even the most modest houses.
Of course.
But these mansions have to be mega. And he's told me behind the scenes, where am I looking here? Behind the scenes, he knows a couple athletes. We can't say the names.
Can't say who.
We can't say the names, but...
Offensive line of the Steelers.
Oh. You need to get them a little bit bigger meal to get them
the amount of food they eat's ridiculous.
The players blow you away with how much they'll eat.
Oh yes, but an awesome group of guys. Such nicest people I've ever met.
Well, what is like a normal, like Lisa said, like the offensive line? Like you made beef Wellington, and I have a million questions on how that works. But like, does like Broderick Jones eat a whole thing of beef Wellington himself?
I'll bring whole tenderloins and just slice down tenderloins for them to enjoy, or flank steak, ribs, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, just a million different things. And like I said, everything's custom. So whatever they want, they call me like, hey chef, we want this, this, and this. No problem.
But you're shocked by the amount of food they can eat.
Yes, the volume of food.
I love it.
All
right, so we got beef Wellington tonight.
Beef Wellington.
Now, I grew up in McKees Rocks, Frank. I don't even know what this is.
I'm from the North, okay? I didn't know what this was either until...
Okay. Well, for everyone who's watching from all of those communities in between, tell us what this is. Because I've heard this, and I've actually used it as a punchline in jokes, but I don't even know what the joke is.
Well, now you get to enjoy it.
Yes,
So, I made you beef Wellington because this past weekend I did a Downton Abbey themed dinner where everybody was dressed to the nines and the old attire and everything.
Okay.
Awesome party.
What did you wear?
I was in a white chef coat with a white tall chef hat that I hate wearing chef hats because I'm bald, you know.
Yeah, right.
So this was inspired by that dinner party. So what we have today, beef Wellington. So it's a whole tenderloin roast.
Okay.
You sear it on the outside. You put down a mushroom duxelle. That's what's around there. Then that's wrapped.
I was going to say, what a beautiful mushroom duxelle you put together.
Why, thank you. That's wrapped around prosciutto.
Oh my God.
And then surrounded in puff pastry.
Oh my God.
Then I made a peppercorn pork demi-glace, Roubichon style mashed potatoes, which is just mashed potatoes with a lot of butter and cream in them.
Love it.
And then honey roasted carrots.
So last week we had Kim Gable on, and Kim had dietary restrictions. She didn't want to do red meat. She didn't want to do pork.
We had no restrictions this
I
week.
know, but I have no restrictions either. But like after you put this together, are there people who don't tell you that, and then all of a sudden you bring it out and they go, oh, by the way, no red meat. And you go, oh, let me just get in the back and
let me get with something else up real quick.
Yeah. All right, so tell me again what we're looking at on layers. And hey, by the way, we've upgraded. Real utensils.
Real utensils this time.
Wow, fantastic. All right, so what do we... So where am I into? This is
that's
meat?
The tenderloin. Yep, that's the meat. You want to get a bite of everything. The red meat, the outside, the mushroom duxelle, and the sauce. I'd probably cut that in half again because that's a big bite. I don't have to perform the Heimlich maneuver on you.
What if I choke to death? That's bad for business.
I wouldn't give you mouth to mouth.
That's bad for business. All right. So here we go. So the outside puff pastry, inside meat. What else did you say?
The mushroom duxelle, prosciutto.
Mushroom duxelle. I feel like I live in Upper St. Clair already. Wow, man. You know, our sound guy, Chris, heard that we had Wellington.
There's an extra one out there for him.
You can believe me, he came around the corner and goes, holy Wellington? That's what, you know you've had it if you just call it straight up Wellington.
Right. You're in the know.
Yeah, that's true. How many people request this from you? This
is really popular now. Really, really popular. I've probably served this in the past 3 months, probably 6 or 7 dinners in the past 3 months.
I see why. My God.
It's decadent.
Guys, Chef Frank is available for your parties, maybe 2 for you and your loved one, you and your hubby, maybe 4 mixed couples, pineapple maybe a pineapple dinner,
Never
or
know.
20, 10, the Steeler offensive line, or just a backyard party.
Exactly.
Frank, thank you, man.
Your pleasure.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Yes, it was. I
wow.
know.
Wow, big time me. Big time. It was your pleasure. We'll be right back with more oneBURGH tonight after this.
Hey, wake up.
Are you tired of funerals being such a drag?
This funeral is so boring.
Yeah, this thing sucks.
I wish Grandpa's funeral was more fun.
Yeah, like actually fun.
Yeah. Sorry.
Fun, you say? Well, at Pittsburgh Farewell Funeral Homes, we're changing the game because we're putting the fun back in funerals.
Let's
Give us
go.
a try. How about a cookie table?
Are these Oakmont Bakery?
I heard they were Moya's, actually.
Oh, Giant Eagle. But wait, there's more. We have a photo booth. That's right, hats, jackets, bowling trophies, weird medals from World War II. Anything you find in your grandpa's house is now a photo booth prop. Did someone say a sleazy DJ our owners met at 3:30 a.m. on a random Wednesday night at Tilden?
Yeah, everyone make some noise for Papa!
That's right, we have those too.
Yeah, he dead, he gone. But if we make enough noise, we may wake his dead ass up!
Pittsburgh Farewell Funeral Homes. Sorrow is for tomorrow. We're here to party!
He dead! He dead! He dead! He dead!
Grandpa's dead. Funerals suck. Pittsburgh Farewell Funerals. Minutes from the mall.
All right. That wraps up our 5th edition of oneBURGH tonight here from the Shenderovich and Fishman Studios. Thank you to those gentlemen. And thank you, Ryan McBride. 5 episodes down. They said it couldn't be done. High five.
High five.
5 golden rings.
5 rivers.
5 Super Bowls.
That's wrong.
What?
But the 5 rivers was also wrong.
I stopped
World
watching.
Series is $5
footlongs.
$5 footlongs. Jared. Whatever happened to that guy?
I know, he got replaced in the hierarchy. It started as Jared, then went Diddy, then went Epstein. Never mind. Guys, thank you for watching tonight. I don't think we should say subs go up and talk about Jared. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching tonight here on your YouTube and your favorite World Wide Web channels. Next week, media mogul Brian Hess and the Screaming Ladies will be here.
Ladies.
They scream in the Ohio River to release stress and anxiety.
I only saw the first 4. Once David Arquette died, I kind of lost interest in Scream.
Well, for Ryan McBride, I'm Brian Carothers from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the greatest city in the world. Good night, everybody.
Now I'm over here.